Alright, so if you're tuning into this video, let's make sure that we're on the same page. This is 5th grade, Daily Math, week 21. And this video help is for page 17, 1 through 4. Alright, so when we look at number 1, it says find the sum of 5/12 and 3/4. So when I think about sum, I need to think about putting two things together. And the fractions that I'm going to be putting together are 5/12 and 3/4. So some things I want to remember about this problem is the fact that we do not have common denominators. So I will need to have common denominators before I'm able to put these two amounts together. And when I do that, I want to make sure that my answer is in its most simplified version. That means I might have to think about what is the smallest name for that amount. Number 2, subtract 2 and 4/5 from the whole number 7. So that means when we're subtracting fractions or any number, we want to have our larger value from our smaller value. Larger minus smaller. And remember, we are unable to subtract fractions from nothing. So that's like having a 0 here, just like when we have whole numbers. So what we want to do is we want to break down the number 7 into another name called 6 and 5/5. 6 and 5/5 is another way to write the whole number 7. Now that I've written that correctly, I should be able to subtract and find my answer. Make sure it's in the most simplified form. Number 3, Zelda fed her dog Scotty 1 3/4 pounds of dog food and her dog Cowboy 2 5/8 pounds of dog food. What is the difference between the two amounts? So if we're trying to find the difference, that means subtract. So we start with 2 5/8, and we're subtracting 1 3/4. It looks like we do not have common denominators, so I'm going to need to do that. So one way I could find common denominators is by thinking, can I count by 4s to get to the number 8? I sure can. I can do that by multiplying by 2 on the top and the bottom. Remember, boys and girls, if you rename the denominator, you must also rename the numerator. This becomes 1 6/8 minus 2 5/8. So now you might be thinking, well, how can we subtract 6/8 when I only have 5/8? That's right, boys and girls, we're going to need to regroup. So another name for the number 2 would be 1 8/8. And now I have 1 8/8 and 5/8. So I would want to put the fraction pieces together first. So I'm going to add these parentheses. Now that means 1 13/8 minus 1 6/8. You should be able to find the difference easily. And finally, number 4. Leah is training for a marathon. She ran 10 miles on Saturday and 3 4/5 miles on Monday. How many miles did she run both days? That means that we're going to be taking the amount that she ran on Saturday and we're putting that with the amount that she ran on Monday. I expect you to set that up and then tell me an answer in the most simplified version.